Ooh, I want to do that again. Everywhere has goosebumps. Hello, people of the interwebs. It's your favorite garage-dwelling non-scientist but wearing a lab coat, Sarah here, with another car review. Today I have the all-new 2022 Cadillac CT4 V Blackwing. This is the most badass version of the CT4, and this one's got a 6-speed manual in it. So first, let's get it up in the air, take a look and see how this thing's constructed, and then take it for a rip. Hey, check that out. The exhaust tips are gloss black. I like that. I would have to keep those things waxed or ceramic coated though. Blends in nice with the diffuser. So this does have an active exhaust system. You can see on these inner tips, none of this exhaust is stainless. It's all mild aluminized steel. Weird. It's got an X pipe right here though. That's kind of nice. This car sounds good, so maybe it was for sound resonance. That's a beefy ass diff. Speaking of the rear diff in this thing, it has a set of 373s in there. It is an electric locking LSD, and it is equipped with GM's Performance Traction Management System, which has variable modes for the traction control system. It's bueno, love it. I think that means good, right? Okay. You can see this massive thick flange right here on the front with the dual bushing mounts that go into the subframe. And these two lines right here means this thing's got a heat exchanger all the way up front, so it's a cooled rear diff. There's only one bushing back here though on this side. It doesn't have dual in the rear. Still, this is a solid unit right there. I like that. As far as the rear suspension goes, this does have a 5-link multi-link rear suspension. There's lots of plastic pieces on the lower control arms. Oh, that's interesting. So it actually channels the airflow to the backside of the rotor, and there's a gap right here in the dust shield for it to cool. Man, look at the size of these axles. The passenger side axle though is considerably smaller diameter than the driver's side. I mean, it's still pretty good. I mean, that's like the size of a pepperoni stick. As far as the rear anti-sway bar goes, you're looking at approximately a 26 millimeter. While I'm at it, I'm sure someone out there is wondering the factory exhaust diameter, outside diameter at least, but 69 millimeter diameter piping, outside diameter. CT4V rides on GM's Alpha platform, and it weighs just over 3,800 pounds, or approximately that many kilograms that you see on the screen right now. There's a large emphasis of aero in the plastic underbody cladding and tons of aluminum bracing to make this thing nice and stiff. Two criticisms I have underneath here that are worth mentioning. One is looks like a manufacturing or design inconsistency with the factory exhaust system. A majority of everything back there is all mild aluminized steel, but when you get up here next to the transmission, the way the cats are made is strange. They use two different style flanges, and it's stainless halfway up to here, but mild aluminized steel back there. That's just weird. Additionally, the way they notched out the side skirt to gain access to put a jack pad to lift this car in the front just feels like an afterthought to me. This right here though is where things start to get really good. There is 2 transmissions available for this car. A 10-speed auto, which is a solid offering. It is a joint developed transmission between Ford and GM. However, the 6-speed manual, it's the Tremec TR6060, an absolute gem paired with this engine. Couldn't get any better than that. And they actually included auto rev match feature that you can turn on or off on the car. It doesn't automatically default to on, which I really liked. Up front, you have a McPherson strut style front suspension with MagneRide, and this optional package allows you to have color matched brake calipers to the exterior paint finish. That's beefy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 visible heat exchangers, AC condensers, radiators, intercoolers that are visible through the front of this car. So all these openings in the front bumper cover are functional for cooling. And also the honeycomb is made up of little Cadillac logos almost, it seems. That's cute. Okay, it's time to rip my face off. No one behind me. Ready? Oh, Jesus! Oh, why does it feel like it's swimming? Oh, those are good. That was weird. It was like, like pulsating, like it was digging itself into the earth. Fucking short braking distance, that's for sure. Man, this car kills it at everything it does. Braking was accomplished with a set of 6-piston monoblock calipers finished in the same color as the car with a 14.96-inch front rotor, 2-piece front rotor on top of that. The wheels are an 18 by 10 in the front, wrapped in a 255/35 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tire. Oh, look at that. It has the little V logo on there too. I just noticed that. Yeah, that's a nice setup. It's like a bluish gunmetal too on the inside of that polished aluminum. Out back, there's a 13.4-inch rotor with a 4-pot monoblock caliper and a single-piece rotor. Additionally, you have another caliper right here just solely for your parking brake. It's similar like you'd see on a Willwood designed brake setup. The wheel though, it's 18 by 11 wrapped in a 275/35 18-inch tire. This thing's got some wide meats on it. Should stick pretty nicely. In the name of science, I'm now gonna give this thing the beans. This thing's gonna give me the beans. As far as drive modes go, I have multiple different ways I can control them, from steering wheel mounted controls as well as down here by the shifter. There is a button that says mode, and you can press that and go through my mode to sport, touring, snow and ice, and track. Then on the steering wheel, there's another button that says V you can press. That brings you into V mode, which is just another different mode of the many modes. And then over to the right, there is a little toggle for the performance traction management system. This I really like. There's inactive, wet, dry, sport, race 1, and race 2. Now race 1 and race 2, those only apply traction control on corner exit. So each different mode is tuned specifically to a different driving dynamic. And this also has launch control, which you have to be in the most aggressive setting for. All right, see what this thing can do. Ready? Go. Oh, geez. Holy fuck, this thing rips. Okay, that's good. This thing's fucking no joke. Holy shit, this thing's good. Again, everywhere has goosebumps. Where are you? There you are. Hey, hood struts and it's light. That's an interesting configuration. Look at that. Oh, cute. I love that they did this to the underhood insulation. It's got the little V-Series graphics embossed into it, and then it's printed right here. That's really pretty. Under the hood of the CT4 V-Series Blackwing is GM's LF4, which is a twin-turbo, dual overhead cam, direct injected 3.6-liter V6 that produces 472 horsepower at 5,750 RPM and 445 pound-feet of torque at 3,500 RPM. That's a healthy, respectable torque figure and horsepower. They're almost squared, pretty similar. I'm actually really glad that GM used a twin-turbo V6 in this car and not a V8, because they have a track record of making some epic turbo V6s like the Cyclone, the Typhoon, the Grand National. I did do some digging around on the interwebs to see what this thing actually makes at the wheels, and while different dynos vary what they say it makes, depending on whether it's a Mustang dyno or a dyno jet, etc., etc., I did notice a common theme that this does make more torque than horsepower, and it was actually making more torque at the wheels than what this thing is rated at the crank to make. Man, this is a cramped engine bay. This would not be too fun to work on. I was trying to see if the exhaust manifold was cast into the cylinder head. It looks like it might be, but it's so tight, it's impossible to see down there. Digging in a little bit deeper on this LF4, this is the same engine that was utilized in the previous generation ATS-V, but it's been revised slightly for this new CT4 Blackwing. It has an over square 94 by 85.6 millimeter bore and stroke, has titanium connecting rods, as well as the turbos utilize titanium turbines in them. Wait a minute, there's actually two coolant lines right here. Unless that's going to the EGR, this might actually have a air to water charge cooler on top of the engine. Give it the biscuits. Yeah. That does not get old. Biscuits are like beans, in case you were wondering. The pairing of this Tremec TR6060 with this 3.6 liter twin turbo V6 is perfect. I would have to say, without question, this is my favorite General Motors product I have driven to date. I like this thing more than the C8 Corvette. What I like about this car and what I feel the C8 was lacking is this thing has a little bit of character to it, because a lot of forced inducted 6-cylinders try to act like they're a V8 the way they tune them. They have gobs of torque down low and it just doesn't feel right. This car, it doesn't really have a lot down low. You can actually drive this like a normal vehicle and you would think, oh, it's kind of slow when you're just putting around in it. But if you flog the shit out of it, it's like it has a split personality and it's like, okay, let's do this. And it comes alive and you're like, what the hell? This is the same car? And it's fast as fuck when you do it too. It's got a ton of torque, but the power band is super linear and it just pulls like a freight train all the way up to redline. I wouldn't pay attention to one of these with a 10-speed auto. It's just, I think it would ruin the car. The fact that you can still get a 6-speed manual in one of these, and the fact that it is an amazing 6-speed manual on top of that. I haven't used the rev match downshift feature too much. I've been doing it all myself just because it's more fun, and this car's pedal placement is awesome for heel toe downshifting. Burbles that are coming out the tailpipe too. I know it's synthetically added, but miles per gallon wise though, it's a little less than the European competitors, but I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't buy this thing and be critical on miles per gallon. I'd just buy an electric car and be done with it. It gets good enough MPGs to satisfy me. On the interior, nothing really stands out as over-the-top groundbreaking in here, but it feels nicely put together. It doesn't feel cheap in here. There's lots of nice leather-wrapped surfaces that are stitched, and the seats have nice piping on them. I like the white piping, the gloss black inserts with the Cadillac logo on the headrest. The back seat, it's not too bad back there. And overall, it's just a comfy car to ride in around town. It's not super harsh either. Obviously, I pulled over to do a bolstering test because that's just reckless. Excellent. These are great seats. This is the best part about the interior, other than the performance data recorder. This is a fun option that it has, a performance data recorder. So you can actually record your lap with telemetry. That's fun. If you guys have never seen one of my car reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate and assess them, starting with the bean score. There's a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And this CT4 V Blackwing is getting a rating of 3 beans. To put that into perspective, that is the exact same score I gave the 2021 GR Supra, and that is a fast car. This thing absolutely rips. Next is the cookie scores, assessment of what you get for what you spend. And this car, as equipped right here, is getting a rating of 3.9 cookies. This absolutely exceeded my expectations performance-wise. The interior was not a letdown. It just didn't woo me in any way. I wasn't blown away with anything about it. But all in all, excellent value. I really like this car. Next is the mechanic scores, assessment of how difficult a vehicle would be to work on a 1 to 5 scale, 5 being really easy, 1 being abysmal pile of trash. 2.4 wrenches. That underhood engine bay area looks like a nightmare. I don't think that would be very fun to work on. Getting back though to the rear of the vehicle, it doesn't look like it'd be as bad, but cramped engine bay for sure. Worth it. Lastly though is the Penguin scores, assessment of how much I personally like a vehicle. And this car right here, it's getting a rating of 5 penguins. It gets a perfect score. I don't know how else to say it. It's just this car blew me away. I knew it was going to be good when it got dropped off, but it exceeded my expectations, and it had a character that just kind of meshed well with me. And it comes in some fun colors. I love this car. This is the best GM product I have ever driven before, period. I am so impressed with it. And I would put this on par in my mind with epic vehicles from GM like the Grand National and the Typhoon and Cyclone. Those are some of my favorites, and this is in that category with them now. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you soon with another. Bye.